Edible Plants, Part 5. The numbers are ending times. Alum-root are extremely variable. There are several different species. Many of them look quite different. Some of them have very beautiful flowers and are used as ornamentals. The roundleaf variety have edible leaves. These are one of the few plants that will grow under a black walnut tree, which are toxic to other plants. Though tangy and slightly astringent, the leaves can be added to pot herbs to liven them up a bit. Hawkweed are related to sunflowers. There are many different species, and they vary quite considerably. There are something like 10,000 different varieties of hawkweed, so it's hard telling them apart. The leaves are considered the edible part of the plant. They are common perennials occurring worldwide. They are usually small and often considered weeds. The leaves are very chewy, and they're sometimes used something like gum. Rush peas are in the pea family. They have pods very much like a pea. The roots are what are edible, usually after roasting. They usually live in the desert in alkaline soils. Several Native Americans use the tubers as food. They would either cook it or sometimes eat it raw. There's nothing in the literature that says they ate the seed pods, though. Velvet grass is considered a noxious weed in much of the United States. The plants produce many seeds, up to 250,000. It would probably be wise not to eat very much of it, but it was found in the gut of a Iron Age man, so it's probably somewhat edible. The man had several different types of seeds, so he probably could stand to eat something that was slightly toxic. The fruits of cream bush or ocean spray are eaten either raw or cooked. The leaves are sometimes made into a tea. Some people find the odor of the plant disagreeable. They are found from wet coastal forests to drier, cooler mountains further inland. It does well where there are wildfires. The leaves and roots of waterleaf are edible. The roots should be cooked. The leaves can be eaten raw or cooked. They are much better young, and the plant gets very bitter when it gets older. Young plants are described as delicious. Older plants require changes of water. It grows in a great variety of habitats from wet mountain meadows to dry chaparral. Desert lavender is a large desert shrub. The genus is generally known as bush mentz. The seeds of the plant can be roasted and ground into flour. It is usually found near a water source, like in a dry wash or something like that. It's often found in association with palo verde or similar plants. Black walnut are related to the walnuts that you would buy in the store. They have much thicker shells, and they're not nearly as big, the nut part. The nuts are rich in oil. The plants release a toxin that kills most of the other plants around them. They are sometimes found growing in oak woodlands. The flowers of Chuparosa are edible. They are quite common in Southern California and often feed hummingbirds. Chuparosa actually means hummingbird in Spanish. The flowers can be eaten raw or cooked. The plants are commonly used in cultivation for their beautiful flowers and also attracting hummingbirds. Latuca are the wild variety of lettuce. Their leaves are also edible, though they're somewhat more bitter. The sap in some wild lettuce is used as an alternative to opium when opium was used as medicine. They are actually members of the sunflower family. Many of these plants are considered to be noxious weeds. The sap is actually a hypnotic. It puts people to sleep. Henbit or deadnettle are members of the mint family. They can be added to salads or used as a pot herb. The plant is very tolerant of many different types of soils. It very often grows as a weed. One of the diagnostic features is the stems are square since it's a mint. The entire plant is edible. It is quite mild flavored for a mint. It's reported to be very nutritious. The leaves and seeds of desert Alysum are edible. It is reported to have a hot crest-like flavor. They can also be used as a flavoring. It is also called desert pepperweed and is a member of the mustard family. They are found mostly in the desert southwest of the United States. Louisa or Bitterroot are members of the purslane family. The main edible part is considered to be the roots. They do have strikingly beautiful flowers. There is a small red core found in the upper taproot. It was considered to have special property by some of the Native Americans. It is often found in dry soil. Some suggest picking the plant when it is in flower because it's easier to peel the bitter peel off of the root. True lilies are considered to be very good eating. The edible part is the bulb. They can get quite large. They are rich in starch. The starch from the roots is sometimes used to thicken soup. Caution is advised since they resemble many poisonous plants. The flowers generally have 6 petals. They are often very fragrant. They come in many different colors. The seeds of blue flax are edible only after roasting. They contain cyanide when they're raw. The seeds are said to be very nutritious. It is said to have a very pleasant flavor. It's high in omega-3 fats. They found flax fibers in a cave in Georgia that was 36,000 years old. Lomadiums are common in the desert southwest of the United States. They go by several common names, including desert parsley and biscuit root. It often grows in rocky areas. There are many different varieties. In the Columbia Gorge, 13 different species were listed. There's also variability within the species. The roots can be peeled and pounded into cakes and dried in the sun. It can be roasted or boiled. Honeysuckle berries can be eaten raw. Some people say they taste bitter. You should exercise caution. They look very much like Daphne berries or bane berries. The fruit can also be dried for later use. Some people say it has a pleasant flavor but not very tasty. Some species are reported to be somewhat toxic. Skunk cabbage have edible roots. The leaves have oxalates, but they can be eaten after several changes of water. The plant has a foul odor. That's where it gets its name. The large waxy leaves are good for covering other food when you're cooking it in an underground stove. The plant generally grows in low-lying marshy areas. The oxalates in the leaves can cause burning in the mouth. They're dangerous if you eat a lot of them. The seeds of tarweed are edible raw or roasted. They are rich in oil. They are members of the aster family. They are widely distributed and can be found from Alaska to the southwestern United States. The plant often has a rather unpleasant odor. The plants have been grown for their seed oil. Oregon grape can be eaten raw, but it's usually cooked in preserves. It has a pleasant acid flavor. It can be dried and used as raisins. There's not a lot of flesh, but a lot of seeds. There are several different species of Oregon grape. They are all evergreen shrubs. They are commonly used as ornamentals. The leaves do look somewhat like holly. That's it for section 5.